Here's Fee. With a shoe off, apparently, for some reason. What's going on? Why are you sitting here wearing only one sock? My foot kinda hurts, so I'm taking a break. Well, after all those boots have been through, I can't really blame them for giving up the ghost like that. Is your foot gonna be okay? Once I've rested a bit. Get the boot fixed up after that. Gonna get to the tailor without footwear and roll down this hill. Foot's feeling better now, off we go. Hold up, you're not actually gonna go on walking there with your foot like that, are you? Use this kind of stuff anyway, maybe so, but you shouldn't be walking around on it like that. What if you step on something sharp on the way? What do you want me to do then? Guess I'll be the gallant knight here. A piggyback. I guess this works. Here we go. What's up? Did it start hurting again? Just kind of amazed. Don't think anyone else would have offered a piggyback ride in that situation. Don't worry about it. Into the store we go, my steed. But the Pony Express stops here. Upon reaching the tailor, Rean asked them to fix up Fee's shoe for her. They told it would be a quick process, so they had to look around the store in the meantime. Got Strigers here. You're pretty fond of this brand, aren't you? Seems like they only got formal wear here though. Been up buying some new sneakers if they had any. Don't see you prancing around in formal wear anyway, to be honest. How long have you been a fan? Did you run Zephyr? The boss bought me a pair for helping out with something. That was the second present he gave me, in fact. What's the first then? They're named Clossel. That's a present I'll never let go of either. There's no one else in the world who can give me that after all. I know how you feel. Dad welcoming me as a proper member of the Schwarzer family meant the world to me. Let's keep our appreciation for that close to our hearts. Speaking of things from the past, I actually reminded of the boss when you were giving me that piggyback ride. He did the same for me not long after bringing me into Zephyr, stuff like that. What made him feel like it was my real dad? There's something else I realized too. You remind me of the boss, but you're not actually him in the end. Just like Class VII isn't the same family that Zephyr was, even though both are important to me. I'm not the same person I was back then either. I don't want to sit around and be protected all the time anymore. That's right, we're all in this together. Supporting each other is the obvious way to go. And use what I've learned from my old family to do just that. Not at all. It took a little more time before the order was ready, so the two wandered the store for a while longer. Once it was, they saw that Fee's shoes were as good as new. Level 6. Here we go. Lethal Assist and Almighty Blow. Done and done. So find Laura next. I guess Central Plaza, Station Street. The closest we can get. Here's Laura. She's walking out of town for some reason. The canyon alone. Spend time with Laura. Got some time on my hands, so let's go check on her. Okay, she changed into a swimsuit. And going swimming? Laura, you alright? Why would you jump in there when it's this cold out? Come along too. There's no need for concern. It's cold but refreshing. She seems like she's okay. I know she's used to winter swimming, but we're the coldest part of the year right now. Did she want to clear her mind or something? That raises the question of what could be troubling her. Laura finally came ashore after spending a little more time in the water. Realizing she would be freezing, Rean made sure he had a towel ready for her. My apologies, perhaps a bit too much to try my hand at swimming during this time of year. But he was. Is something up? I know you're fond of swimming, but doing something like this out of the blue isn't like you. See? You're gonna have to let me dry your hair off at least. Having dried off her hair, Rean left Laura to finish drying off, otherwise, and get changed. In the meantime, he headed back into town to grab her something warm to drink. Thanks for your consideration. Warmed up plenty now. See, it was worth me fussing over you. Won't head back to the Courageous. You'll catch a cold if you stay out here. As you know, I'm used to this. I'd like to apologize for worrying you, however. I wasn't too worried, it's you we're talking about. Bring a swimsuit from Thors or something. Found it in my luggage after leaving. Used it often during the time Emma and I spent in the Gram too. Sounds funny when I say it out loud, but swimming has always been a way for me to wash away my concerns and hesitations. Of course, Emma had a similar reaction to yours whenever it did. It's not funny at all, really. I get what you mean. As a noble, I found myself thinking a lot about what happened here in this province. It is true that what Duke Albarea did to Celtic is beyond unforgivable. However, one could also argue that he never would have employed such tactics if war had never broken out. It's clear that his position in both the four great houses and the Noble Alliance is what drove his actions. Have a point. There's no guarantee that any other noble would have ended up doing the same. What's funnier, that's what you said, is that I'm technically a noble too, but never even thought of things like that before. We still have a long way to go, not just in swordsmanship either. It doesn't benefit us to single-mindedly dedicate ourselves purely to that. Still, I feel that if we're able to make it through this, we will be so much stronger thanks to experience. I want to rise above every challenge life throws my way, both as a swordsman and a noble. Naturally, that involves trusting in others rather than attempting to deal with those challenges alone. Perhaps you're an ideal partner to keep me in check. Laura? I didn't even mean anything special by that, mind you, just that since you also happen to be a swordsman, we should strive to motivate each other. I'm curious to see what can go from here. There are many incredible warriors taking part in the war, but together I believe we can catch up to them. Just maybe we'll have to reach the strength of the Lance Maiden herself. Looking forward to seeing just how far our swordsmanship will take us. The two talked for a while longer before deciding to walk back into town. Almost 6:50. I guess that's that. No more points to spend. So let's head back to the Courageous and end off our day. Probably take a save as well before we get on. Okay, so Courageous on the other side. Probably tell me to save anyway, so it shouldn't be too important, but I'll save here anyway. Actually, I want to try something. So I don't think we've been inside the mansion before, but it seems that Husis is in the mansion, which means if I go to the Noble District, I might be able to go inside. Because I remember not being able to go inside the first time I was here, in both games. Can we go in? Never ceases to amaze me, both the Duke and Scarlet are being held here. Looks like I can go in, which is nice. Jesus, it's pretty luxurious. Seems like there's a maid here as well. More maids and butlers. It's incredible. It's not as grand as Valflame Palace, but I doubt you'll find many mansions this fancy. The Duke's residence is certainly befitting of his status. Came after all. I was kind of hesitant to come and visit in case I got in your way though. Everything is largely settled here now. Leave the rest to you. As you wish, leave everything to us. And we will strive and make things as comfortable for your father as possible. You have my thanks. He's Captain Clare's adjutant, isn't he? Quite a skilled one at that. He and his men will be managing the mansion together while keeping my father in custody, at least until the war comes to an end. No need to look so glum. He deserves to answer for his crimes much like the others. He should be grateful he hasn't been handcuffed and thrown in a cell. It's one way looking at it. Scarlet's here too, right? Receiving treatment in the annex. She remains bedridden, but her life is in no real danger, so we're here. If you'd like to speak with her, you should go pay her a visit. I'll be going to my room to get ready for departure. If you need anything at all, feel free to come by. Will do. Let's go visit Scarlet then. But which way is the annex? That's the question. Where's his room anyway? Then where the annex Scarlet's in either to ask someone or just go exploring, you know? Let's say, okay, so that goes nowhere. Eustace's room, Duke's quarters, the annex. This is the annex over here. Guess I don't need to ask anyone, especially when I got a map. Is it Scarlet's room? Jesus, that's a lot of rooms. I knew it would be you. Did you come to listen to me whine and complain about you? I know you didn't want me to save you, but you don't have to hate me for it. Don't care what happens to me, whether I live or die or get executed as a terrorist. What happens, happens. Stop being so flippant about the whole thing. Seem to be a little more cheerful than I'm expecting you to be. Sounds like you're doing alright, at least, that's good. My only complaint is that I wasn't allowed to ascend to heaven like I wanted to. Perhaps this is just how it was meant to be. Wish I could tell you. You said you used to be a sister, right? You mentioned something about training over in Arteria too. I did, though that training was a long time ago. That really takes me back. So that wasn't a lie? Sorry, it wasn't that I didn't believe you, it's just... Have you know, I grew up in one of those most pious families in the country. How does that make me believe? I was so happy when I was first invited to join the church. Doubt you know, but the church is a fairly complex organization with plenty of divisions within it. The part I was invited to join was an organization called a congregation for the sacraments. A group full of immensely skilled people who take on some unique missions, to put it mildly. Made me happier than you can imagine to be recognized by people like that at such a young age. And having special abilities of my own, I left home, trained my hardest, eventually became a squire. As a kind of knight, then you become a sister. The church has knights too. I'm getting confused now. Anyone who would be in your position, the image of the church begins and ends with priest and mass. As it was, my days in Arteria came to an abrupt end. Just before I went out for a mission, I got word of what happened. I hurried back to Erebonian as fast as I could. I was too late to do anything. Lady Scarlet, I think you should get some more rest. Didn't mean to make you strain yourself. Really are a softie. When they hear the rest, you have to come back another time. So if you're interested, Hard to imagine someone going from being a sister to a terrorist, but that's just what happened. I'm still convinced that would be in a waste for her to have died back there. I'm glad she seemed to have calmed down for now, and to come back another time to see how she's doing. Looks like we'll get the next story after we come back next time. So now let's head back onto the Courageous and call it a day. I think we're good to go. Should I go back inside? More to see. Cause the main story to advance. Any unseen bonding events. Return Courageous. Head back inside. Wait for the others to get back. That should be that, really. Looks like we caught you just at the right time. Were you planning on going inside? What's wrong? You seem all flustered. Got a message from the guy still inside the ship. Something's happened over in Crossbell. Crossbell? The place that got obliterated. We saw the city covered by a blue barrier from where Corellia Fortress was, but it's not that, I'm guessing. Something even weirder. Planning to go and get a closer look at it. Grabbing everyone else still in town, bring them back here. I'm getting everything ready for liftoff in the meantime. Back as soon as I can. Leave everything here to you. Okay, something's up. Rean quickly left to find his classmates. Once everyone was gathered at Albarea Airport, he boarded the Courageous and left off.
Wow, that must have been tough.
Give me the S, yep, give me the S. Nice S.